Hey there viewers, it's Charlie. I'm back again with another Transformers review, and today's review is going to be on War for Cybertron Trilogy, Earthrise Hoist. Now, unlike Siege, which had really cool looking Cybertronian alternate modes, Earthrise, as the name implies, just gives the characters their Earth vehicle modes. So, yeah. Now, before I have a look at the figure, let's have a look at the packaging, because I'm actually collecting the packaging for the War for Cybertron Trilogy figures. Now, as you can see, the inside of the box is blank, but there is a reason for that, which I'll get into. Here we can see the side, which, just like the Siege boxes, says Hoist sideways. Although, unlike the Siege boxes, it actually says his name in Cybertronian, I assume. Here we have Hoist, and it looks like he's fixing something. The back of the box. Here we have him in his robot mode, and as you can see, that looks just like how he does in G1, right down to the little arm flaps that his G1 toy had, and what he had in the G1 cartoon. His vehicle mode does have the little towing apparatus, which actually can connect to some ramp things that Earthrise had. You have his vehicle mode. The side of the box, which has characters like Megatron, Quintesson, Prime, Wheeljack, and I'm pretty sure that's Bumblebee, Hound, Trailbreaker, RC, Sideswiper, and Shockwave, as well as the Ark crashing down to Earth. So that's a pretty good homage to the first episode of G1. You can see spoilers for my next two reviews there. Here we can see a hang tab up here. Also, yeah, I did change my display. I'll show them in a future collection video soon. You can see this box has a hang tab, which is pretty cool, I guess, if you want to display it that way, like just hanging from a wall. The top of the box has an Allspawn insignia. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the box. However, the inside of the box had this. This is meant to be some kind of map thing. Unfortunately, mine doesn't really stand that well, so I'm just going to lean it against my table here. Now, the gimmick with this is you're meant to look for a planet on it with this. I don't know why I said it like that. Maybe it was just because of the speed I moved my arm, but you're supposed to decode it with this. Come on, if you're a G1 fan, you know what this is. It's a tech spec decoder. And comparing it with a G1 tech spec decoder, we can see that it's actually quite smaller. Yeah, you see how small it is compared to the original? We get what you're supposed to do is look for a planet, although it's actually seen in plain sight. Not really on camera, but in person it's seen in plain sight, but still a fun gimmick. But here you can see it says Junkion, which is the Retgar's home planet. Although Retgar is not in Earthrise, he's in Studio Series currently. And if you're wondering, yes, the G1 tech spec decoder does work. And I'm pretty sure this does work with a G1 tech spec, so hey, backwards compatibility, eh? But yeah, that's pretty much it for the box. But well, that's pretty much it for that. Let's have a look at the actual figure. Well, of course, Hoist is a green tow truck, like he is in G1. No Cybertronian flaring. Although he still has the battle damage from Siege. I don't know. He actually does spin quite well. I don't know why, but I guess that's quite fun. Having a look at the figure, we can see right off the bat, visible hands. And that's just due to the transformation. I don't know why it's like that. Bit lazy if you ask me, but hey, this figure does have sort of a crazy transformation, but we'll get there soon. Look at the side panel. We've got the warning stripes that Hoist does have. The back wheels, unfortunately, have that green tab thing in the middle, which is annoying. Although if you want to, you can chrome it with a little chroming pen if you want to. I unfortunately don't have one. Okay, we have the entire towing apparatus, which I'll show soon. Here we have the hood section. It's got the battle damage, which I showed earlier. Got an Autobot insignia, like Hoist normally has. This is where the rub sign would normally be on the G1 figure, and where this would actually lift, so you could put a driver on the G1 figure. Looking at the underneath, we can see this is all hollow. We can see the arms, we can see the legs. So yeah, at least the head's not visible. And well, that's pretty much it for the vehicle mode. Although, I do want to show off the towing apparatus. Of course, we can move these bits out the way. We can move this down. And I suppose if you want, you can actually tow someone. Although, I suppose you have to be a bit careful doing it. Yeah, this isn't really working that well. If anything, it only really works if you're showing it in pictures. Yeah, and even I'm struggling with this. There we go. But yeah, if you try to roll them along... Sorry, Red, but... It looks like you're gonna have to walk all the way to the base instead of having Hoist tow you. So yeah, the towing gimmick, while cool, doesn't really work for other cars. If anything, if you see how it's laid out, it's more used for the ramp system, or the ramp gimmick in Earthrise, because this actually can connect to Prime's trailer. If I had Earthrise Prime, one day, but this can connect to the modulators, or even the claw that Grapple has in Earthrise. But yeah, that's pretty much what it's used for. I think there was a few Siege figures that even used this thing, the ramp gimmick. Like, I think Omega Supreme used it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the vehicle mode. So let's get onto the transformation, eh? Shall we? Let's! Okay, this guy is good at spinning. Okay, Transformers reviewers, references aside, because... Come on, Transformers reviewers just love referencing one another, eh? But let's get on to the actual transformation. Well, first, if you're reviewing him, raise your camera because, well, I just have to do that because my camera's a bit weird. Thanks, phone. But, well, take the hood section and actually lift it up. And then if you move the arms down, you've got a makeshift combiner leg. Why we didn't get a combiner wars hoist, I'll never know, but this could be a good substitute, you never know. Yeah, lift the hood up. Untap the side sections, if I can talk, like so. And lift them up, just like the G1 figure. This is a bit tricky to do because they're actually tabbed in under the towing apparatus. There we go. And just lift that up. Untap the legs from the towing apparatus entirely. Have it like that. Then rotate them around. So now it's like this. Move the arm panels down. Move this bit down so try and tab it in. There we go. Transform the arms by rotating them 90 degrees and then just moving them down. Get these bits out the way, move the towing apparatus out the way, so you can get the little head thing out. There we go. Come in here and rotate the head. Tab this in. And here's Hoist in his robot mode. So, yeah, this is definitely Hoist. Despite that unique transformation, this definitely does resemble how Hoist did in the G1 cartoon. Right down to death, but we'll get into that soon. Well, having a bit of a 360. And also, let's have a look at his head. We can see that his head is colored black, unlike his Feeling 30 figure where it was colored green. The green colored head homages the G1 figure, the black colored head homages the cartoon, so this is basically, I'm holding this could potentially, if this was bigger, this could be a potential masterpiece version of Hoist, if this was bigger. Now, one accessory I forgot to show in vehicle mode is this. And that's really because it doesn't really play into the vehicle mode. I mean, if you're looking at the box, it just tabs in the side, so yeah, it doesn't really play into the vehicle mode that well. So, but in robot mode, well, if he won't fall asleep, if Hoist won't fall asleep, what you can do is put this in his hand. And there we go. Now that's really cool. It's the only accessory he has, but I'm pretty sure if you have some blast effects that are compatible, which I don't, the only blast effects I have are the ones that come with aimless, review coming soon. But if you do have, like, jet fires, then you could put someone here to make it look like he's actually welding something, which is cool. So, articulation for this guy. Head, well, it's on a ball joint, so it can look up, it can look down, it can just look around entirely. Sorry, I belched. Excuse me. Sorry. The arms, well, they could move 360, although as you can see, that's not possible because of this. We'll get into that in the complaint section. He actually can, despite this, he can T-pose. Although I do worry about these coming loose in the future. The elbows can swivel. The wrists can swivel. He does have elbow articulation, of course. The wrists can swivel. Not the wrist. The waist can swivel. They are similar sounding words. These can go forward. These can go back. If you get these out the way, you can do the splits. Plus, with the ankle articulation, you can actually sort of hold that. Not really, but yeah, you can see he actually can do the splits without me having to hold on to him. Because almost every War for Cybertron figure that's a deluxe class and up can actually, well, do the splits and hold it because of their, well, ankle articulation, I'm pretty sure. And the knees, well, he's got a knee here and technically here because of the transformation, so he's technically got double knees, which is amazing. So this guy is really poseable. Plus, if you have a flight stand like the one I got here, which I'll show in a couple videos, you can get him in the air. I don't know what Hoist will be doing in the air, but it's a possibility. I'm not going to do any aerial poses because, well, as I said, what would Hoist be doing in the air? He's supposed to be like working with grapple, so he wouldn't be like jumping up and trying to shoot at Decepticons unless he absolutely needs to. So I don't really see him doing any aerial poses anytime soon. So, but this is a fun option. So he is compatible with my flight stands. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my review on Hoist. Complaints? Well, let's get the biggest one out of the way. These bits. I know they were on the G1 toy and they were on the G1 model in the cartoon, but come on, sometimes G1 accuracy isn't always the best option. I mean, they got in the... If you remember, they got in the way of articulation, you see? So they can sort of get in the way. So they can get in the way, so that can get really annoying. I suppose the transformation can also be a bit fiddly, because trying to get everything tabbed in can be a bit annoying, and plus, seeing how this is an Earthrise figure, you could potentially have QC issues. My one's okay, but just be careful. I think I've seen one person have the wheel come off, but I'm not sure. Just be careful, okay? But other than that, I actually really like this figure. I mean, I think I've seen some people that test this figure just because of the arm things alone, and to which I say, Seriously? Just because of this, which they are annoying, but I don't hate them entirely. I mean, I don't like them, but I'm not gonna say, oh, don't buy the figure because of them. I mean, I can live with them. And remember, they were part of the G1 model, which sure you can argue that they weren't really that good on the G1 model, which I can agree with that. But come on, I can ignore this. So, do I recommend this guy? Well, yeah. I mean, this guy is really accurate to the... Well, this guy is really accurate to how he looked in the G1 series. And remember, this guy had an entire episode focused around him in the G1 episode. Well, in the G1 series. Remember? The one where someone called him Moist. That's just hilarious. So, yeah. Despite that arm issue, I still really like this guy. I just think he's really cool. Well, this has been my review on Earthrise Moist. And this is Charlie Young, signing off.